This is my life, but this is also me living it. You tune in, and what you should walk away from, what I would want you most to walk away with, is the idea of, yo, well, what can I do? What am I doing with my life? Am I living it, or am I just, going to some humdrum job that I don't really want to be at? Doing some minuscule task, getting paid to be a mindless drone, or am I out there living life on my terms, the way I want to live it, doing the things that I want to do? Make no mistake about it, as hard as this is, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do, and some people can make fun of it. They can crack jokes, they can sit back and analyze and, criticize and make all the fun they want. But I'm living my life. I'm doing it. What are you? If your response to that question is, hey, I'm living my life too. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I've found my passion. I've created my true calling in life. I'm living life on my terms, then chances are you probably wouldn't have time to be watching this blog. You'd probably be out there somewhere making it happen. And I think that's what it's about. Life is for the living. Stress is a part of it. But stress makes us better. Stress makes us live. Stress is how we know we're alive. If we don't know what stress is, then we don't know what feels good. Man, when this is over with, you know how good cake is going to taste to me? It tastes that much better because I've deprived myself of it for so long. It's like, I swear, I feel for food more than I could crave a woman. And that's the truth. The thought of like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches right now just takes me over the hill. I can do another hour cardio thinking about, in another 2 weeks, I'm going to tear the hell out of some cake. I'm going to walk into a local bodega in New York City, and I'm not going to care about the calorie count. I'm not going to care about how many grams of carbs in it, how much fat, how much sugar. I'm just going to pick it up and eat the shit and feel good about it. And I'm going to keep doing it. That thought, and it may seem like something so little, it doesn't even make sense to a lot of people, but that thought in itself just turns me on. It makes me want to go home and create. It makes me want to think about sitting down and painting, being fat for a little while and not really caring, being so creative because I've paid the price. I've worked hard, I've done a good job. I went after what I was going after. I did what I wanted to do, and I was successful at it. So I've earned the right to do this. That feels good to me. That makes me almost want to cry in joy. I think about sitting down and eating a cheeseburger, and oh my God, passing out in the gym and all that stuff. I know some people may think that doesn't make sense. I would never do that. But I tell you what, the first time I eat some cake, man, I'll probably propose to it. There's a kind of mentorship that that there's a lot to be said for, A lot of times we see an athlete at the top of his game, and it's easier to just see them. And a lot of times, the other things that they represent can be very easily lost, To see Kai Greene at the top of his game right now is to look at a portrait of not only the manifestations of his thoughts, but also the tireless work of countless other people behind the scenes. You see me now on this camera, but who you don't see is Bill Comstock's tight ass arms holding the camera up in my face. You know, we saw Rocky with the heart and the drive, but what you didn't see was Mick, you know, sitting in the corner, looking at the opponent, looking at the attack, and coming up with ways to counter it, to back them up and take them off their game, which a lot of times for an athlete in the trenches of the experience is very hard to see. You know, wow, every time I move, that left jab is always in my face. That left jab is always in my face. And then there's a Mick that's back there telling him, Rock, just cut it. Yeah, if you take 2 steps to the left just before you advance, you'll find that that left jab will miss you. And now you can counter with that right, and it'll land every time, because I noticed that the opponent, he's not expecting that. And you only need to be effective with it twice in order to weaken him. And now you're able to fight this fight a little bit better on your own terms. So, you know, I think every coach, every mentor, you know, develops a kind of relationship with their athlete, you know, and I think the best relationships between, you know, coach, mentor, and athlete, you know, are those that have been forged, tested by fire, and allowed to grow. You know, I think in order for the bodybuilding champions of tomorrow to become of stronger quality, they have to be developed and grown, and not just left to their own accord. You know, magazines that are just inundated with, you know, drug advice and things like that, when they're not really at the level to even understand how to stay on their diet yet, how to overcome the emotional obstacles of maintaining the discipline even when they don't feel like it. Practicing your posing, staying on top of those fundamentals. To answer the question, I'm just talking about how important it is to grow champion athletes. You know, to plant the seeds that will take root in the minds of what are budding athletes before, you know, before we turn them into consumers too quickly. Before we want them to just buy supplements and, you know, buy drugs and accept all these really highfalutin, complicated ways of reasoning when it comes to training. Look, man, get in the gym and train. I have people that probably haven't been training less than 6 months but already want to talk to me about the difference between sodium loading and carb depletion. And it's like, dude, if you really are an aspiring champion professional bodybuilder, you know, you can't take on concepts that are too intense too soon. It's like trying to do quantum physics and don't know basic number skills yet. You know, it'll come in time. I was a little boy doing push-ups in an institutional facility by myself. And occasionally some of the counselors or staff would come in and bring bodybuilding magazines too. Couldn't read, didn't understand the reason for it, but I was inspired to think about things that could be by the photos in the magazine. As a result of that, I wanted to read. You know, I wanted to think artistically about the human body and how to express feelings. Make no mistake about it, I've been staying out here in California, but I sleep on the floor, you know, in a very small room, you know, focused on making this thing happen, you know. Recently, you know, my best friend has come to my aid, he's trying to encourage me and support me in ways psychologically that I don't think anybody else could, you know. The road to being one of the best, I think, can be a very lonely one, you know, and I have been willing to accept that loneliness, you know, at whatever cost. And some people don't understand that. At times, not even your woman, you know. But I've been of the presence of mind not to allow that to deter me in any way, because I believe this to be the most important pursuit of my life. You know, some people can spend a lifetime trying to find themselves or trying to find a cause for them that is worthy, you know, of their absolute best effort, of their sweat and their sacrifice, you know. I was fortunate enough to find that early. In so doing, I found medication to help soothe my soul and my beating spirit when other experiences in my life let me down and betray me, you know. As a teenager, I remember going to the gym, not really fitting in very well with anybody, you know, in any social circle. My hair was always too long, just not really quite fitting in, not very well adjusted at all. But you could go to the gym and quickly become this portrait of barely controlled fury, and it was okay. It was okay, you know. Maybe other things could have been the vehicle to channel that stuff, but for me, you know, it became bodybuilding. I remember being a teenager, and I would take the train to the gym after I found, you know, this place where I could let go, where fuck you didn't matter. And it wasn't something that made people look at you in fear or feel threatened by you, or you had to apologize for being angry or intense, you know. In fact, the more intense you could be, the better. You know, how intense could you be? Can you be intense enough to pick this 500 pounds off the floor? Are you intense enough to pick this 700 pounds up? Squat down to the floor and stand back up? So what, your eyes are bloodshot? You know, so what, your bones feel like snapping? What are you gonna do? And I loved it. Suddenly, there are different kinds of music that made so much more sense. The soundtrack to Conan, the original Conan, it made sense. It gave me chills every time I listened to it in my headphones, rocking back and forth on the platform of the train, waiting to go to the gym. No distance was too far. If it snowed outside, if it was raining, we still got to go to the gym. I'd cut school, I'm going to the gym. Or I'll cut school, I'm going to go to sleep. Because I got to go to the gym tonight and we got to squat. It's a leg day, you know. And if I got to die tonight, if this weight is going to kill me tonight, then so be it. If I meet the end of the world tonight, I'm in the place that I want to be, right here in the gym. I swear, and with that passion, man, years go by, time goes by, and you end up forging something beautiful. and creating a new opportunity for yourself that you probably didn't even, you're gonna win money. Now, I remember competing for no money. Hell, the title of Arnold Classic, I'd compete in it for nothing. I'd stay on this Stairmaster for 8 hours if I had to, with no money offering. I mean, to me, I've been a fan of this. This is a part of me. It's the idea alone. A portrait of barely controlled fury was the thing you needed to become in order to get over the pain. And there is no pain. You want to find the zone. Well, that's where it is. Right there. Right there. Fuck overtraining. I think a certain amount of overtraining is good. Or at least you learn in the continuum of your training. Some overtraining is great because you need that just to be able to saturate the muscles with feeling so you can build those neurological pathways that need to be in order for you to make greater and greater connection, greater command and usage of the muscle, period. So overtrain. I remember being able to go to the gym and just blank out. Just blank out.